What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we are here today for our normally regular programming here on Tino's Time on Thursday, as it's time for another episode of the Southside Boys. We were here earlier this afternoon talking about the news, the breaking news that Jade Cargill is possibly heading over and jumping ship to WWE. So go check out that new episode after you're done here. But today, guys, we're here. We're going to talk to you for another 30, 40 minutes and vent about the Chicago White Sox, about the MLB, and I just want the season to end. It's not fun anymore. I can't watch it. I try to as much as I possibly can, but watching them lose to the Royals, watching them lose over and over again, I just don't know how much more I can handle of it, but just got to get through the season and hope for better days because, as they always say, there's always, I don't want to sound like a Cubs fan, but there is always next year. And that's all we're hoping for. So let's not waste any more time and let's get Deech in here. Justin will not be joining us today. Something came up for work. So we just got Deech here today and it's just the two of us. So Deech, how you doing today?
Doing good. I've not really been watching this team as intently. I still tune into games, check scores and stuff like that, but not as invested. I mean, there's nothing exciting about what's going on. And then they've really set themselves up to make fans miserable going into the off season, honestly. I mean, saying the Pedro Grifol thing, just guaranteeing his job, I really don't like that because he continues to just say nothing that impresses you when he speaks. And I can't tell if the players even like him at this point. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Well, and that's kind of like how I've been feeling. And I haven't been able to listen to a lot of the interviews because now the game started at 6:40. They're over by the time that Raw or NXT or Dynamite are over. So I can't listen to anything because YouTube copyrights everything, and I can't listen to the interviews. But I try to listen to like some clips after the game that Scott or whoever posts, and it's just like he just doesn't like you said before we started recording. It just seems like he knows that he has his job, and he's just like, well, I don't care. I know I'll be here next year, so let's just whatever. And it's like the team is getting worse. Like the team is not getting better. And like you talk about not being invested, like I think the biggest thing I'll learn from this season, I want to say before I forget because I'm very good at that, is I just know like next year, like I'm gonna have this mindset all year. Just the way I feel right now is going to be. It's like, okay, well, if they win, it's awesome. Yes, it's a clean slate. And yes, I'm going to have that feeling of baseball being back. But I can't get too invested until they actually show me because we were so invested into this team and we were so invested in all these guys that it's just like I can't deal with it. And we can't have anything nice as Chicago sports fans, it seems. I mean, especially like I talk about it a lot, especially with football starting and fantasy football. That's a lot of it, honestly, like the last few years, I've kind of been involved, like obviously because we've been good, but just like the last few years, it just like especially this year, like I've just been out of it since like the end of July, August, and I'm just like, thank God football's back because at least there's something on, and I still tune it on and I have it on, so I know what the hell is going on because we obviously got to come here and talk. But these games are just dreadful, and watching them lose to the Royals like this, and watching that they are 56 or whatever and 90, the fact that they still have to win 5 or 6 games, it doesn't seem possible to even like the fact that we are sitting here hoping for not to lose 100 games when we should be hoping to win 100 games. It's just sad. It really is. And it just continues. You know, I see it on your thing on the bottom, and we'll talk about that right away. Mr. Oscar Colas getting sent down to AAA and everything like that. And, you know, I mean, maybe, you know, I don't know. I'm assuming, you know, it is what it is. And I honestly, I wasn't expecting it. Like when you texted me, I wasn't expecting because I just figured they'd let him play. But for your opinion, what do you think about this? And what do you think like this exactly like means? And like, do you think like we see this guy next year? Or do you think this is just like I don't know. What do you think about this whole Colas being sent down?
It was a little shocking just because I didn't expect the Sox to do something that I wanted them to do. I have not been impressed with him, especially over the last month. There's multiple times and I missed the actual play, but I just saw there was a collision between Elvis and Colas the one game where one of
I
them
didn't
went
see
to
that.
the ball. He just doesn't have a very high baseball IQ, and that needs to be addressed in the minor leagues. I mean, you can't teach that in the majors because this team is already so just like nothing goes right for them. So you cannot have someone who's constantly going to make mistakes that just like complete. I mean, it derails games some of the times when you're making a stupid decision defensively. And I mean, that's really where his issue is any mental mistakes just should not be happening like this.
Well, yeah, and it's just like I don't know if you've seen, like I've noticed it like all year. It's like when like he gets like a fly ball, it's like he's like craving it. So he's like he's got to get in Robert's way, or he's got to try to make this outstanding. Like he wants to be a star so bad that he's trying to do everything. And it's just like, dude, if you'd go out there and just play baseball and do like the fundamentals and the normal things that normal baseball players do, they would just fall in love with you naturally. Don't go out there and trying to like have flash and you're trying to be this and that. And I was talking about it before we started recording about the Moncada and everything like that with Colas. Like they're wearing the same colors. They're obviously like best friends or something. So that might even be something too, is to get those two away from each other because they're probably causing some type of something in the locker room because they are probably friends and they probably sit there next to each other and they're like, yo, but what's up? That's fine to have like a friend or whatever, but it's just like we're not a good baseball team. We're not like this is not what we were supposed to do. And it's like again, but back to the culture. We could talk about we could have just an episode about the culture. I mean, it's kind of like crazy. So, I mean, you know, again, there is how do you know how many games are left? Is there what 19? Somebody know how many baseball games are left in the regular season?
I know it's under 20 now.
Is it the last week? The last game is September like 3rd, right? It's that first or October, sorry. October like 3rd or 4th or whatever. It's like the first weekend of October, I think. I think they play the Padres and then they end the season with the Twins, I think. I don't know. But can't wait for that day because my question is I just want to know what this team's going to do in the offseason with Chris Gatz. What is he going to do? What is he going to, this and that? And it just like I feel like they need to go out and they need to like switch things up and get rid of these certain players that we all know that should not be here. And, they obviously got to make a decision on Tim Anderson and everything like that. And, with everything that Tim has done and brought. And then this year obviously hasn't been the greatest of years for Tim Anderson. But, I mean, do you think there is any better options at shortstop? And I know you mentioned you want to talk a little bit about Tim Anderson. So what are you going to talk about with Tim Anderson?
With Tim Anderson, I think everyone seems to be jumping the gun, thinking that the Sox would actually consider not picking up his club option. I am very against that. I don't understand why you would let someone walk for nothing, where at least if you pick up the option, you do have a solid compared to what you're going to be able to fill that position with. If you don't pick it up, you'd have a solid shortstop for at least the first half of the season. See if Montgomery's ready by like the halfway point, and then you decide if you want to keep Tim or, trade him. He's going to be a consistent hitter. I honestly think this season, certain players on this team do have a competitive nature to them, Tim Anderson being one of them. All of his celebrations when he was younger, back when he was more of a rookie, with the bat flipping and stuff like that.
The swagger that they had was just like,
yeah, I have a feeling he's going to work very hard in the offseason. I think
look at what he did at the All-Star break. Just the thing that he did at the All-Star break turned him around. Imagine when he has like 3-4 months to get away and clear his head.
So I just think he's going to bounce back and will regret not picking up his option if that's the route that they choose. Ahmed Rosario, I think, could be
because that would be my question is who are they going to replace Tim Anderson with? Because I don't think Colson Montgomery is ready, and we don't want to fast track these guys like we've done with Colas and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the best option would be to pick up Tim Anderson's option. But if they don't, who would even be available that you think would even fit with this team?
The only one I saw, I mean, I think there was Mondesi, but Mondesi's been, I feel like he's been injury prone the
At
last.
all. He can't stay healthy no matter what, because that's why the Royals gave up on him, is because he couldn't stay healthy, because they
Yeah,
traded him to the Red Sox, didn't they?
yeah, there was something like that where he did go to a different team, and then Ahmed Rosario is another option, but I don't know. I don't really see him being better than Tim. I mean,
It gives me Cesar Hernandez feels again, and I don't like it. Because I had hoped for him, because he always kicked our butts. But that's what happens is the Sox try to go get guys that always kick our butts, but then they come here and they forget how to hit because they don't have that motivation to beat us. you know,
yeah, I don't know. I
like
think,
bro, like look at the Royals, bro. Dude, the guy had what was it, 6 of his 13 home runs against the White Sox this year. That's ridiculous.
yeah,
Well, I think it was Mike Massey's. I don't even know. Mike Massey, whatever, bro. Can you stop hitting home runs? Like seriously.
well,
Because
I just the point you made about rushing people too. You can't just rush Colson Montgomery up because you don't want to pick up Tim Anderson's option. I mean
well,
that. I mean, he may sit and try and compete and get like an invite to spring training, but I don't legitimately see him just starting the season with the White Sox. I mean, that'd be just saying we only care about our young players and this year's a wash, which you just can't keep doing that to the fan base after the last 2 years.
I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, because in like how many people are actually going to like go to these games next year and want to sit through this? Like, I love this team so much, and I would like, I'd give my right arm to just have a winning team, and it's just so sad because it just seems like they just don't care. And it just like it's like they made a good point on one of the podcasts I was listening to, and it's like what free agent is going to want to come here when they know how bad everything is, unless if you get rid, you know what I mean? And that's where like I was asking you earlier, if there are, I'll ask you this also because I asked you to think about 4 guys you would keep. Who is 2 guys you would get rid of, like off this roster? I feel like we might have the same 2 answers, so I want to see what you.
Uh, Based off of the direction that the team is going, I think Eloy for sure would be one. I think you can actually move him and get something in return. The other one would be, if it's even possible, Moncada, but you're going to eat a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But
And those are my 2 options. That's why I said I figured we had the same
yeah,
options because
he
those are the 2 guys I think, as much as I appreciate Eloy and his high mom and everything, blah blah blah. Yoan is at this point I'm just so like just off of Yoan. Every time I look at a jersey or anything of him, I just want to puke because it just like it makes me sick. And then it's like when I watch this guy go out and he's had a phenomenal 30 games, he goes out there and is playing great baseball, but again, he as soon as he does, he has something wrong with him. He gets removed from a game, and then he comes out yesterday and goes 0 for 4 and can't get a runner in and everything like that. And if I have to see any more ground balls between these two, I'm gonna throw something because it's like you see like I was watching it like if I like you said you haven't been watching, but there's been like a couple of the games like I've been watching and I'm like looking for other things than obviously the score because the score doesn't matter. And it's like you see the interaction with like Vaughn and Robert, and then you see the interaction with like Moncada and Robert, or like last night, Eloy's talking about how he got a base hit, and Moncada is sitting there talking to him, and you could see Robert sitting on the bench and just like, oh my God, you 2 idiots are just like, what are we doing? It's like we're down 9-1. What are you yeah, that's when it was. Even though they came back and they still lost that game. It was a game they were losing 9. He got the home run. He acting like he did something good. They came back, and then they still lose. It's just like and that's the thing where just like I do believe that if those 2 go, like you said, we could get something for Eloy because I think if Eloy goes, I think Eloy's going to go and he could be a perfect DH for somebody. And we'll talk about the games next because you sent me this picture and Eloy's played 104 games. So I think that is very good in that, if Eloy can play another 100+ game season for another team, I think that's great. And Chuck said it best. And even people like I hear people say it on like fantasy football. Let these guys go somewhere else. That's great. Let them have great numbers, or for like fantasy or whatever. It's have the guys and have them on your bench or whatever. But I think that having the guys go somewhere else, that's great. Have them do whatever. But how do we know that it's not going to? And we've seen it happen in the past. I mean, look at like the Cubs players. I don't want to talk about the Cubs here because I hate the Cubs. But a lot of the Cubs players that went other places, Baez hasn't done anything. Bryant, the best thing that he did is he had a single against the Cubs this past weekend, I think. And it just like the only guy that's really went on to go and do anything is Rizzo, but Rizzo really hasn't done anything either. So it just like, it's going to suck to see these guys go somewhere else. But at this point, it's like, just go, just leave, because we don't care at this point. So, that's why I always say it's like, they probably will figure it out. But let them be like the Marlins problem or the Phillies problem. Let's not be the Chicago White Sox problem anymore. Because that's, So I want to read off these games real quick because we have other players that I wanted to see, because I think this is the first time we've had these many players play 100+ games, because the last 3 or 4 years, I think the most games any of them played was like 95, if I'm not mistaken. So Andrew Benintendi, he will be here next year no matter what. He got 136. Luis Roberts got 135. Vaughn's got 135. Yasmani. Why is this man still on the baseball team, bro? When I was seeing him play in the doubleheader, I was gonna throw something at him. I swear. He's got 114. Anderson's got 110, and Eloy's got 104. So, I mean, again, if Eloy can go out and play 100+ games, I think a team would be more than willing to give something. Because that's the thing. You want to at least get something for these guys. And that's why, like, the thing with, like, Anderson, imagine if Anderson gets his option picked up, he has a really good season, and maybe the Sox are good, which means the Sox are good, or if the Sox suck again, but he's playing good, as you said, we could use that as a trade piece to go and get something, because some team would give something up, just like, the Angels did with Giolito. So, yeah. But
I think what you get back in return, I mean, needs to be at least with Eloy, it needs to be like an MLB ready type player. I do not want Oscar Colas to just be handed right field next year. I would rather have Lennon.
I don't think any guy besides maybe Luis Robert and maybe Andrew Vaughn and Benintendi should be given a job, because Benintendi signed. Robert's the only guy in the world that we like to watch anymore, and Vaughn probably our first baseman. So I feel like those are the only 3 guys like that you could really like, but yeah. So keep going. What were you going to say?
I just think I'm okay if they want to roll with Lennon Sosa or Remillard at second base, but you need to like go get a right fielder.
So bad.
And I'm not even saying it needs to be a free agent. I would even consider making a trade for Alex Verdugo or someone like that, who has had his ups and downs in Boston, and they've been having issues where I don't think they're seeing eye to eye. So, I mean, maybe you get a guy who needs a change of scenery and work out a deal with Boston and fill one of their needs to get him in return. I mean,
well, and that's the kind of thing where it's like maybe a change of scenery for somebody else on another team might be good to come over here, where it changes scenery for like Eloy or Moncada or whatever would be good for them. Because as I said last week, I think a lot of these guys will be good. I think they're just going to be good on other teams that they don't have to be the guy, because all of these guys want to be the guy, and they're not like they're not surrounded by other guys. And I said it last week, like I'd rather have John Doe playing right field that can hit the ball, run bases, and play defense than have flipping Albert Pujols that's the best guy in the world. Like, I just want guys that like go out there and want to have like the fight, and that want to play, and that want to win, because that's what we were supposed to be doing now, is winning, and all we're doing is losing. And it's not fun. Rocco told me on Tuesday that it's our fault because we started the Southside boys. I was like, listen, bro. I was like, that's not my issue. They just suck. That's not. We're apparently, I see a chat. I want to say this real quick. We are not getting Shohei Ohtani. Apparently, from Jerry Reinsdorf, we will not be paying 10 years, $100 million, whatever the hell, for Shohei Ohtani. So we won't get Shohei Ohtani. But I mean, who do you think else like they should go out and get, like, hypothetically?
I mean, I would make if you're gonna sign like a free, you can't bottom feed anymore. You can't go sit and find some guy who's been mediocre and has never proven anything other than just like a little like hot streak, or some veteran who's way past this. I mean, I've seen Adam Duvall's name mentioned. I'm
They've
good.
been mentioning his name for 3 years.
Even Jack Peterson. It's like, can we aim a little bit higher? Like, it's nothing against Jack Peterson. I just am like, he's passed to the point where I would want to. Yeah, I don't think I would. I'd rather go get someone else that just has more upside. There
Well,
could be.
and again, you want guys that are going to go out there that you like. We want to have guys that we know we can put in the lineup every day that aren't going to be like a problem. Where it's just like having these guys rotate in and out of the lineup is ridiculous. And the fact we are still having this problem with like again, nothing against like you said, nothing against these guys, but like having like the Zach Remelards or like these types of guys always going in and out of the rotation and the lineups and this and that. It's just like, oh my goodness. And I don't know what the Michael Kopech experiment is, but it's not working very well. And I haven't even asked you about that yet. What do you think about Mr. Michael Kopech being in the bullpen and then just coming in and giving a bunch up of walks? He's still walking guy. It makes no sense, bro. What's the difference if it's the first or the eighth? He's still giving up walks. So
That's where you need to look more at the coaching staff. I mean, Kopech has the tools, and you, for some reason, have, I mean, contributed to him completely losing all confidence. And that's what it is. I mean, he has good tools, but he mentally is completely ruined right now.
yeah,
You can just see it on his expression, the way he speaks. I mean, his last interview he had a couple nights ago, I mean, it was just, he just looks miserable, which, like, that's fine. I mean, just suck it up and get through the rest of the season. But I don't know. They don't have the capital to go spend for 3 starting pitchers. Okay, we'll say it really depends on what you do. I mean, let's just assume we're keeping Clevenger.
you have to. There's no bro. You
Well,
have to.
there's no interest from any other teams. I mean, we just cut him again, and he came back because no one wanted. We offered him
he's like that meme where you throw him out and he's standing behind you.
Yeah, I mean, and I was kind of pissed when they said and outrighted him because I was like, all right, the guy he came out 2 days before in the media and was like, I'd love to return to the Sox next year. Like, I really enjoyed my time here and all this crap. And then these idiots go and immediately like release him, where I'm just like, why? Why piss someone off?
Well,
And
that's
then
the thing. And again, maybe they want him to go and try to be able to go and pick up and go play for a playoff team, but nobody wanted him. Nobody was interested. So it's like, why would you even do that? And it's like, but again, like that's what you have to do because he's been the best pitcher on the team. The fact that the two pitchers, the last 2 years, the two best pitchers on the team have been guys that they've literally picked up out of nowhere and that have just came out of nowhere. Last year was Johnny Cueto, and then this year it's Mike Clevinger. It's like, I know Johnny Cueto ain't doing the best this year, but like, I mean, you have to have some type of something in the rotation, and we can't be relying on, again, like we had Elijah and we had Jeff on the show, and they were talking about all these great rookies. And I think they should get up and they should have innings, but I don't think that we should be just throwing these guys out there to go give up 10 runs because that's what exactly is that going to do? And I know they're going to need innings and everything, which is fine, but you still got to have a couple guys in the rotation that you can lean on that they can pitch 6-7 innings. And again, maybe I'm wrong and maybe all these rookies come out and prove it and they go out there and ball out. And I really hope so. Because I'm dying inside. And you said suck it up. I've been sucking it up for flipping 4 months right now, bro. We all have. It's like these players need to suck it up because you think we're happy. Nobody's happy. This is miserable. The fact that I'm getting more excited to watch the Vikings and Eagles tonight than watching the Sox game is depressing because in reality, this should be a big game right now where we're trying to knock out the Minnesota Twinkies and we're trying to get their asses out of the playoffs. But that's not happening. Instead, we're watching Thursday Night Football, and I'm going to watch the White Sox and cry. So, yeah.
But well, yeah. I mean, the rotation is concerning going into next year. I don't know. Well, and then I don't know. So we picked up a few guys like Devi Garcia.
Can we talk about this guy? Is this the dude that was on the Marlins this year? Was he the dude that the Marlins was the top prospect, and then did the Sox pick him up or something? Because I swear we've seen that we pitched that we faced this guy this year.
Urias is the guy on the Dodgers, but like no, he just got in trouble for like domestic.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, but yeah, no, I wanted to mention, I wanted to talk about him too, but I wanted to ask you about that guy because I texted you guys, but I didn't know if that was the same guy. Is that the dude that was on the Marlins? That dude that pitched a couple days ago or whatever?
No, this guy's on the Dodgers.
No, I know the dude. I know the dude that got in trouble. I'm talking about the guy that pitched for the Sox a couple days ago. The dude, man.
Oh, Jose Urena.
Yeah,
that's him back in the day.
That's what I thought. Okay.
He's starting tonight. It's stupid.
Wait, is it?
Like,
I didn't know he was starting. I just wanted to ask you because I forgot, but you just reminded me. But yeah, no, I know. Julio is a whole nother situation. He got in trouble for all the shenanigans, bro. How do you feel about this guy? Because you remember this guy was supposed to be the next superstar. While we're on it, I guess.
Urias?
Yeah.
I think I believe he's been in trouble for this before. So if he did it again, it's just like you're an idiot. Because like I heard the Dodgers like cleared out his locker and stuff. So it's not.
They told him get the hell out.
Yeah, I saw a tweet the other day that said like the Dodgers are starting to slowly distance themselves. They had I think Keon Wong or whatever his name is.
Oh.
He took over his locker.
Oh wow. He's like clean your locker out and go. See ya. That's so bad. So, but I mean, in that bro, I just wanted to mention that's what somebody asked in the comments. But yeah, I wanted to ask you about that pitcher because I saw him and I'm like, I swear, like I've seen this guy pitch somewhere. I'm like, I know it. I'm sitting here trying to figure this out. Nobody watches baseball in the streams, and I'm just like, who is this dude? So it was okay. So it was him.
Yeah,
another number one prospect.
Think he went at one point. He might have been on Detroit. He might have been. I mean, he's bounced around a lot.
Yeah.
Like now we pick him up.
Yeah, he was on Detroit because you remember he pitched against us. I think it was last year.
Yeah,
because I remember seeing Detroit. They were talking about him. They were like, he's this guy and that guy and everything. I was just like, yeah, I love it. They always do this, man. It's guys that they always want to have that they want to have when they're good. They think that they're going to be the same 10 years later. It's like, it's not like watch, we're going to have Bryce Harper when he's like 41. There's our right fielder. Woohoo! 10 years later. I mean, you got to love it.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm at peace now with the season. So, like, I have, I think, 4 or 5 games left. Go to them. You know what you're getting yourself into. So you just go enjoy being at the ballpark.
Do you actually go with somebody every game, or do you have like a group of friends that are there, or like, is it just like you?
I have my 2 seats. So, I mean, it just depends who I bring with me. I normally go with at least somebody. And then I went to, I think it was one game this year where everyone wound up not being able to go, so I just went alone. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I pay attention too much for it to like bother me that someone isn't there with me. Like,
that's all I am. Once the game starts, I'm kind of like, well, you don't exist until the game ends. Shit, I do it at home still sometimes, and I think it's just like a thing that I've been doing this for so long that it's like they are so bad that I still find myself sitting here watching every day, and I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? But I still have it on. I don't care. I'm numb by the pain. I just sit here and still watch it. Like yesterday, I was watching and I'm like, they're just getting their ass kicked. And the fact that they lost the season series to the Royals is annoying. But yeah. So I do want to ask you real quick, because we do still have games to play, and we're not going to go into all of it because, again, it really doesn't matter. But they do have to face the Twins and the Nationals next. So how many games do you think they win out of these?
The Twins is a 4-game series, correct?
Oh, is it 4? Shit. Okay, so 7 games we got. Because we're off next Thursday. So, yeah. I saw that yesterday.
The Sox are going to win 3 of 4 against the Twins because fuck the Twins. They're going to get knocked out of the playoffs in the first round.
And But like if you do come on like some of the baseball shows and everything, bro, like that's the thing. Like the first round, the Twins are gonna be out. Like that's like they're hyping it up and they're this and that. But no matter who was gonna win this division, they were gonna be eliminated first, unless
Yeah.
they made some triumphant return or some like hot streak. So, and I think the Twins will what? They'll have to face what the second seed, right? They'll have to face like the Rays or something because I think the Orioles are number one now. Bro, I want to see the Orioles so bad. I'd love to see them in the World Series.
Yeah, just not any of the normal. I don't want the Dodgers. I mean, the Yankees won't even make the playoffs now.
We got to get those Northsiders out too. They need to keep losing. Keep losing to the Rockies and lose this weekend to the whoever you play. Because I'm tired of listening to, we going to the playoffs. Blah, 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 blah.
And then you said we play Washington?
Yeah.
We'll win 2 out of 3 there.
I just want to not lose 100 games, and it's so sad
that,
we're saying
that I think is Pedro's goal now. I mean, I'm sure he's just like, listen, mother effers, like, if you lose 100 games, like, we're all gonna look really stupid because about culture and preparing to kick everyone's ass every night. So like 100, I mean, jumping to triple digits just makes it like so much worse. Like if they lost 99, you'd be pissed, but you'd be like, whatever. Like we lost 99 games. If they lose 100, you're kind of like, God, we suck.
But and the thing is it's going to be 100-loss team. That it's going to be the 100-loss team that they talk about forever. The 2020, dude, they're going to do a documentary on this shit. You know that, bro. 5 years we're still doing this show. We're going to literally be talking about a documentary about the worst White Sox team of all time.
Yeah,
like, and it's sad because they have so much talent on this team that they should just be so much better. And when we see it, it's so good, but they just can't seem to click, and it's so annoying. I just wish they would do. I wish they could have. I wish we could have nice things. So I'll say they win 4 out of the 7 games, and that would put them at 61 wins. So then all they got to do is win 2 more. So let's hope for that because I don't even know. What time do they even start? They started at 6:20 or 6. What time are we playing now?
I think it's 6:40.
6:40. There we go. Okay. Oh, I gotta watch half hour of their asses before football starts. You got anybody playing in fantasy tonight?
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Said, I don't even know.
I just set my lineup. Let me double check here.
He said I set my lineup. Listen, I mean, hey now. I got TJ Hawkinson, Dallas Goedert. I think that's it. Oh, and the Eagles defense. That's right. Yeah, I love it.
I have the Eagles defense in one of my teams. Hawkinson,
bro. The problem with me with Hawkinson this week is I have to face Hawkinson, but I also have Hawkinson. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, well, it's like, damn. I don't know.
Thank God you said something. I didn't realize Gainwell's out for Philadelphia, so I would have just.
Yeah, Gainwell is out. Gainwell's out. He, I forgot what the hell he did. DeAndre Swift is supposed to get a bunch of the carries, but let's hope not. Probably Boston Scott will.
And then it looks like I have the kicker.
I'll always need it, bro. The kicker's coming clutch. Gotta love kickers. I hate kickers so much. Oh, so very much.
I lucked out for years in a row. I think it was Matt Gay who just had like an insane year. Like the kicker, Matt Gay. I think he was on the Rams. Or yeah, something like that. He had like such an insane year. And I drafted him just like one of those, like, whatever, I need a kicker. Like, not thinking anything of it.
I mean, that's what you should really do with kickers. Like, you should really look at teams that, like, just make it to red zone but can't score a touchdown. And,
Well, and then the next year I drafted that Koo from Atlanta.
Yeah, Hung Koo.
That year where he had, like, it was like he was almost averaging, like, 20 points a game.
Yeah, the year he had, what did he have? He had, like, 5 plus 50 yarders or some shit.
Yeah.
He's so good. That's what I took him in one of my leagues as my top kicker because I was like, he's always hitting them. The Falcons suck at scoring. And yeah, because that's what you got to do with kickers. You got to look at what team sucks at scoring. And the Falcons are god awful at scoring no matter how hard they try. And Desmond Ridder is a disaster. And Drake London could go put his ass on the bench. Useless. Before I get to the chat, is there anything else that I forgot or that I did not cover that you wanted to talk about?
No, not really. I mean, there's really not much to even discuss.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like,
stop
there's
saying
really,
word culture. If I hear that word one more time, I'm gonna lose it.
if
Like,
we're what? We're vultures?
no culture. He's trying
Oh,
to
culture. Oh,
culture.
but what about the culture, though? How do you feel about the culture in this world?
Dude,
Gotta love it, man.
it's insane. It's like every time he gets interviewed, he like just finds a way to place the word culture into like what
It's his favorite word.
it's absolutely it's like no one believes you. Stop saying that like none of this is occurring. This is insane. Oh, I will say Gavin Sheets has looked better now that he actually has been getting consistent at bats.
That's
He's
just because
not
he
been
keeps
great.
giving you points in the picks to click and you're cheating ass. That's all. Don't lie.
I
Gavin
haven't
Sheets.
gotten any points with him.
You got one a few days ago, whatever the hell day that was.
Oh yeah. Well, it was Gavin Bond season. What are you gonna do?
Bullcrap. I'm tired of it, is what it is. It's nonsense. I don't like it. But yeah. So I'm gonna go through the chat, see if anybody's got anything good, and then I'm gonna say goodbye and get ready to watch some Thursday night football by myself. What's up, Missy? How you doing, Missy? Missy had some B-dubs. Missy, what'd you get from B-dubs? What's up, Joe? Eric says, what's up? Sorry, he's late. Eric, it's okay, bro. What are you talking about? What do you want to talk about with Mr. Cody Bellinger? I don't want to talk about no Cubs players on this stream. I barely like talking about the old Cubs on this stream.
If the Cubs are smart, they would extend Bellinger.
Yeah, do you think they will? While we're on the topic,
I honestly I was a huge fan of the Dansby Swanson signing because they got like one of the best shortstops. I mean, you could argue he's probably top 7 in the game.
oh, easily, yeah.
Way less than the rest of those shortstops got paid. So it
And
really,
he's having the best season. Like, as much as
yeah,
I hate to say it, the guys that the Cubs went out and get, like Swanson and Bellinger, once they figured it out, they're having a great year. I mean,
yeah.
they really are.
To be able to lock what's his name, Swanson up to a decent contract like that where you have your shortstop like set. I could see them paying up for Bellinger. I think their pitching is what they really need to address, but I mean, I'll give it to them. They're in the right direction. I mean, they're competing for a playoff spot right now. While we're sitting here and just dropping trow every night for the other team. So
literally, bro, it just looks like they go out there and they just don't care. It's like, why am I sitting here carrying and watch? That's why, like, I just sit here and I just watch them and I don't even care because it's just like, why am I going to put any type of effort or carrying into it if they're going to go out there and strike out 4 times and then Moncada's going to walk out with his head down or Elvis is going to ground into a double play and then throw his helmet down? It's like, well, then what are you guys doing? Like, are you guys not getting better? Or are you guys just so checked out? Like, do you guys just not care? Like, what is this? Because that's like the thing. Like, what is the issue here? And it just like, I don't even know. It makes me sick. I just want the season to end.
well, and people who are saying that Elvis Andrews should return next year and then let Tim Anderson walk, like, come on, he's older. Like, you have to take age into account. He's not going to have a full productive season, most likely. And if he does, like, I guess more power to him. But like, I'd much rather take the gamble on Anderson turning it than like expect Elvis to be extremely productive. I mean, he's been on hot streaks this season, but like, I wouldn't say he's been great at all.
No, and it's not like he's like, he's definitely done some things to have us have little moments like where we've had like a couple good weeks. But like the facts that we're sitting here in September talking about good few weeks, we should be talking about having a good few months. And like, maybe that's why Justin just doesn't keep coming back. He's just like, tonight I'm just not feeling it. I just can't. I mean, it's just like, bro, like the mental that these guys think, like that I don't think I've ever been so like mentally just like drained and like just like checked out of anything in my life ever. And I just so depressing because I wanted to come on this show every week and have a good time, and I try my best, but bro, they make it so difficult, so difficult. So, any idea who the hell this guy is? Who? Huh? Any idea?
I don't know if that's the guy who the Yankees. There were a few scouts that went overseas to go watch a pitcher pitch, and I think he threw like a perfect game or a complete game or something like that.
Of course, these international guys, they can just go out there and go do whatever the hell that they want to do. I mean,
but
yeah, I love it, man. They doing it.
I renewed my tickets for next year. Speaking,
you wait to say it till now. That's he said. Oh yeah, by the way, I did end up going. He said,
what was I gonna do? I like the fact. I mean, it's not like I have like a half a season or anything. I mean, I have my 20 games or whatever, but I have my like set dates that I know I'm going then. Like to just be able to plan around. I think that's more.
I definitely feel it. Honestly, if I still had like if the guy would have let me keep the tickets that I had, I probably would still get my 10 because I got a 10-game plan is what I got every year. Yeah. So I probably would still do it if they allowed me to have that seat, but they won't allow me to have the seat. And the closest they said they'd put me is I think like 111 or something. And I don't want to sit there. And I kind of, yeah. So yeah, but I mean, I definitely feel. I mean, again, I still like going to the ballpark. Like again, it's fun until the game starts, and then when the game starts, it's like, oh well. Like honestly, like every time I go to the game, I'm like, this is just so much fun. And then when the game starts, is when it all goes downhill. I'm just like, no, I just want to go home. At least when we're home, we could turn it off. Like tonight, I'll just turn it off when the Sunday night football game comes on, or Sunday night. I guess it's Sunday now. Thursday night football. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Anyway,
I will say, going to games, I mean, it hasn't been as bad as it could be, partially because, I mean, essentially it's like I have another show from the Southside boys, like during the game with whoever I'm with, like I just like let it out. I'll be like when when Rick Hahn was still the GM, oh my God. I would be like, Rick Hahn needs to be fired immediately. Like this guy is pathetic. I mean, it's like you have to look for outlets to be like, this can get better if you do these things.
I mean, that's how I feel with wrestling, bro. Like all the crazy shit going on with wrestling, with the Endeavor, with UFC and everything like that. Like that's the same way I feel. I just sit there and vent, and it just like you got to have a way to let it out because like it just like yeah. So I definitely feel you on that. We do got it. The three of us got to figure out a game to go to next year before hopefully that they're not like too shitty. We should definitely try to do that. The three of us go to a game because we didn't do that this year because it all went downhill in April. Fucking disaster. Literally.
After April, there was no way we were dragging Justin to the ballpark.
No, I was going to say, bro, that's because I was going to bring it up in like May, and then Justin, I was just like, Justin ain't going to go for it. Justin's like, screw this. So like maybe like around like my birthday in May next year we'll go because it's like it will be semi early. Let's hope they have a better April because I will say this, and I think I said this last week. If Pedro is still here next year and we have a shitty April, he's gone May 1st. There's no way you keep him past April if we have another shitty April. Because what are we going to do? We're just going to dig ourselves deeper and have a whole another 2023? Because I'll tell you what, next year I have no expectations. Coming here in March, episode 1 of season 2 of the Southside Boys, I have no expectations. I'm going to have nothing because I don't want to get my hopes up at all and pray for the best. Just like the Chicago Bears. You came here on the stream on Sunday, bro. Hype all off season. I said it. No reason to get excited because the Packers are probably going to go out there and do what they did. What did the Packers do? They went out there and they beat the shit out of the Bears. So exactly why I was sitting here saying I had no expectations because I knew it was going to happen. So until they can prove otherwise, I just can't.
I turned on the first drive, the first offensive drive, and when they couldn't convert on 4th down, I turned that shit off.
You knew it was over. You knew it. As soon as that happened.
It's because that's such a like huge momentum swinging play, no matter
and how close they were too is what the other thing was because you put the Packers right in field goal range.
Yeah.
And it's like I get it. I get you want to do that, but then can you pick a play that actually converts it and not just pick a play to run up the goddamn middle? Run, pass. Run, pass. It's so annoying. I'm just praying for better days against Baker and the Buccaneers this week. But we'll see. I don't know. I just want to win fantasy. I went 2-2 this week. You went 4-0. I don't like you. So I need to get some wins this week. So
4-0 and I lost J.K. Dobbins, but we still prevailed.
Did you go get Justice Hill or any of them?
I don't even know. I scooped someone up. I don't even remember who I picked. I literally go in, figure my shit out, and then get out. I really don't pay attention that much to it.
The fact that you're 4-0 kind of makes me mad, and you just don't care. And the fact that you don't know who Justice Hill is, it makes me angry.
I know who he is. I just it wasn't like I was like, oh, let me go grab him or anything. I mean, I just went on the waiver wire, looked at the running backs that were available, and was just like, whatever.
Pick the best one.
Guy.
I mean, hey, sometimes that's what works. I mean, sometimes the auto teams and the auto stuff like that sometimes is the best because they just give you what you need. So, some people like me that try so hard and I suck almost not all the time, but anyway. So, but that's all I got here for you. Deech, you got anything going on you want the people to know about before we let you go and we finish the episode?
If anyone sees it, I'm going to be at the ballpark 2 days this weekend, so let's just hope it doesn't rain and just play a competitive baseball game.
Literally, that's it. Just play competitive baseball.
Just don't get your ass kicked. It's literally pretty what I'm asking for.
Literally, don't get your ass kicked. That should be the new slogan for the rest of the year. Don't get your ass kicked.
The last game I went to, they lost 10-0. It was when Clevenger got shelled by Detroit. And it was there wasn't a exciting moment the entire game where you're just like, God, this sucks. And
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Think about the people that have been buying tickets. They go to these games, they get all excited, and by the bottom of the first, the game's over, and they give up 5 runs and they lose. And it's just I'm just like, God, that's just awful. That's the one thing I hate about it. It's I want to go to these games so bad, but it's I go some games I go to, and it's just they start losing right away, and it's they're over, and it's just well, that's just not fun. I went to James Shields' opening day start against the Nationals, and he got shelled and gave up 8 runs, and it was a disaster. And yeah, and we all know how that went. But yeah, guys, thank you all for coming here, hanging out with us today. Not too much more to talk about. We're just trying to get through the rest of the season. I'll be here for the playoffs. We're going to try to drag Deech in for a couple rounds. That will be more fun. We'll talk about winning baseball teams, and that will be a little bit more exciting. But that's all I got here for you today for episode number 26. Remember, we got the My GM episode, Road to WrestleMania. We got The Deal Is Done. The WWE Endeavor is official. UFC and WWE are officially merged. We also got the Jade Cargill episode that just came out a couple hours ago, so go check that out. We got a bunch of stuff on the channel that you guys can go and do. We will not be live here for Thursday Night Football until October, the end of October, beginning in November. We will be having a schedule change episode tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you guys come and hang out, and we're going to talk about the full schedule changes coming after the baseball season and everything else. So remember to go follow all the social medias. Go buy some merchandise at bonfire.com. Tino's, Tom, and Southside Boys. As I always say, you don't got to like the White Sox, but just support your boys. And finally, if you guys can't do any of that stuff, I do understand. But you know what you can do? You can hit that like button. You can subscribe on the road to 2K. And lastly, you guys can turn that notification button on so you know when all new episodes, everything else comes out. Guys, have a great rest of your Thursday night. Let's go the fantasy players that I got tonight. Have a great rest of your day. And I will see you guys all here live tomorrow night for another Friday Night SmackDown live stream and for the schedule change episode. So, guys, have a great one. And I will see you guys all tomorrow for another doubleheader here on Tino's Time.